Welcome to Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I am your host.
My name is Cassandra. I'm your other host. I'm back, beaches.
She's back. Oh my, I can't believe Europe let you go.
I can't believe it either. You know, the people in Paris are burning trash just because I left.
There's literally riots on my television in Paris because you were no longer there.
Yep, they keep trying to spin this fake news about how it's about their pensions and their retirement, but it's actually because, first of all, they started putting bags of trash on the street while I was there to, you know, commemorate me and my marriage. And then when I was like, okay, I gotta go to Lisbon now, they're like, Sacre bleu, you're leaving to Lisbon? And then they started just rioting. It's actually kind of crazy. So, but I'm happy to be back in the USA, baby,
where nothing is wrong ever.
Bingo, baby. No riots here. Hey, I'll tell you what happened though. As of this recording, Trump he got indicted, and the rumor is he's turning himself in tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, interesting.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Cassandra.
Yeah. Also, if you're listening to this on the day it drops, today's my birthday.
The day you were born. You were perfect.
I feel like ever since I turned 30, it's hard to remember how old I am specifically.
I did fill out a survey today to try to get into like a focus group, and it was like, what age range are you? I know the range.
Yeah.
But when it was like, put in your birthday and your year of how old are you, it took me a second. The math, I was like, okay, so I know the ranges of my age. I don't know my exact age anymore.
I also feel like when I was in my 20s, I also knew how much or how old all my friends were. But anytime that someone crossed over into 30, who could say? Who could honestly? Erica, you could put a gun to my head. I don't know 100% how old you are.
Could you give me a range? Could you give me a range?
Yeah, I could give you a range. It would be, you know, you're somewhere between 33 and 37.
Yeah, no, that's an appropriate range. Yeah, I think I fall somewhere in that. That's what I checked off on the survey boxes anyway.
Yeah. And I'm now falling somewhere between 31 and 35. I'm somewhere in there. I don't know which one. I know I'm not 35 yet.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not 30 anymore. The rest, that's in God's hands. Who's to say?
That's in God's hands. That's true. It used to be such a big deal to like know when someone's birthday was. Like I knew all my friends' birthdays. I knew all of their phone numbers by heart. I knew most of my family's birthdays. I have a pretty big family, but when Facebook came along, it's as if someone hit Control-Alt-Delete and deleted all of those files.
I know what most of people's like signs are. Like I know you're a Sagittarius. You know, and so I think that to ask me to know someone's specific date beyond that, is like kind of fucked up.
It's a range. You have a 28 to 31 day range of someone's birthday. If you know their sign. Yeah,
I don't expect you to know my birthday's on April 3rd. I told you it was, and so that's that. I'm an Aries. I do expect you to know that I'm an Aries. That's it.
Yeah. Of course, it's just a wild phenomenon. Like we did come of age in that internet time, and Facebook made it irrelevant to know things. And now no one goes on Facebook. So
I will say this, that perhaps, to play devil's advocate, perhaps it's not Facebook's fault. And perhaps that we just knew those things when we were younger because the stakes of our overall daily day life was lower, you know? Because I always think that like when in high school, you know, everyone's first and last name, like, and you refer to them as such. I'm lucky if I know your fucking first name now, because the stakes are too high in other aspects. I have a credit score to worry about. I can't be bothered with knowing. Like I think I know 5 people's birthdays, and one of them is not Taylor. I have to take a second to think. Wait, which one? I know what his birthday's close to, and I know that he's a Cancer. Okay.
Yeah. I do the same with Winston because I get it's like it's on one day, but I always think it's the following day.
Yeah.
And so when I go to pick up medicine for him at the pharmacy, they're like name and birthday. And if we're in the car together, it's like a relationship test. Like
totally.
Winston, it's July. Oh shit, why are you doing this to me, lady? Why are you fucking doing this to me, CVS? He's in the car.
Is Winston a Cancer also?
No.
Or is he a Leo?
Leo.
Uh-huh. I can see that. No, Taylor's a Cancer, and but he's a July baby also.
Yeah. Yeah, but later July.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, earlier July. Early July. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got my who can put all this in their head? Who can
are you joking? Like I pay mortgage. You fuck off. Yeah.
I think it's not. I think the stakes are high, but we also just have more to worry about, and we've learned more. At that time when we knew everyone's number or birthday, all these things about them, we didn't have as much to store. Like our memory was like the total was all there, but we'd only experienced 13 years worth of stuff.
Yeah, like I'm happy to learn your name, first and last, birthday, and home phone number, but like that was before I had to remember that I need to pay my taxes in the next 2 weeks, or I'm going to get docked by the IRS,
Exactly.
There's just too much else to worry about. Specifically, why you're trash. So why are you trash?
Thank you. It's been so long since someone asked me, and with a loving tone, because some people are just like, what's wrong with you on the street? And that's not how you want to experience it. You want to hear that love in your voice and say, why are you trash? I think cell phone, we were talking about memory and things. I think cell phone changed a lot of the ways we operate with people as well. Just being able to quickly look something up or, it's a phone book in your phone. Like you have the phone book of numbers and people's things right there with you. But I came of age in the early days of cellulars. Like we had the leather bag phone that you plugged into the lighter in your car. And if all of those things sounded very foreign to you, you are much younger than I am.
Wait, I know plugging into the car, a leather bag phone. You had a car phone?
We had a car phone at one point.
What? And how were you able to drive with gold shoes?
My dad has been on the cutting edge of technology for a long time, but then it definitely stopped. It was like, this is where we're good. I'm gonna call my daughter every time I log into Hulu. Like that's where we stopped with technology.
Sure, yeah.
What's your password again? Look 3 text up.
Honestly, with how bad my mom is with technology, I'm shocked we had a home computer. Like I guess I never really thought about that. Like we had Windows 95, and yet now, like, I'll be like, why do you have 8 pages worth of apps when you only have 15 apps? And she goes, I don't know. The phone did it itself.
My dad just got rid of his AOL. Within the 2020s. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying, like, we were early adapters to a lot of things, but I remember like cell phones evolved, just like you get the iPhone 15 every other year now, or, up, technology's evolved. But there was a time when towers were new, cell phone technology was somewhat new, and it was becoming universally, everyone had one. That's where we were timeline wise. But cell phone reception, towers, concept of Wi-Fi, all those things hadn't really hit us as to like what those actually are. And there was a time where to get better signal, you would be holding your cell phone to your ear with one hand, and then you were holding just imagine raising your left arm.
Yeah.
Straight up in the air. Now put that over your head towards the right side of your body. Holding the cell phone this way, thinking that you are somehow making yourself a stronger tower to get cell phone reception.
You're telling your cell phone, use me. All these like brain like waves that they're like, oh, people are getting brain cancer from these cell phones. You were saying I can be your lightning rod. Just I only have 7 minutes left. I need this call to go.
I'm 5'7". Well, I'm doctor legally. I'm probably 5'6" and 3/4. And then the lady goes, "Oh, you have shoes on." I'm gonna write down 5.5, like 5'6.5. And I was like, "You will write down 5'7" so I can be a goddamn rocket." But I'm just saying, like, I gave myself like an extra like 6 to 7 inches of reception by holding my hand over my head with the cell phone, extending my arm into the tower and thinking that worked. I walked around like that. I'm sure if I was trying to get a hold, tell my parents I was going to be late on curfew, I had to make sure that call went through. But yeah, that's why I'm trash.
Those early days of cell phones, I had a Cricket plan, which Cricket was new at the I think Cricket's still around, but at the time it was like $20 a month and your phone, unlimited text messages. I want to say unlimited minutes, but that's probably not true. But it only worked like in the greater Denver area. So like if I even like looked at a mountain, my phone didn't work. but it was dope. I learned how to like do T9 like without even looking at my phone. Like it was good times. T9 is how we used to text back in the day. By the way,
Wikipedia, watch a TikTok from an old person that'll explain that to you.
Yeah.
Why are you trash, my dear? Why are you trash?
I have so many listed because I was just a big old piece of shit on my honeymoon. I had some problems in when I was gone. We were walking like 12,000 steps a day. I mean, people in Europe, like they walk and they walk and they walk and they walk. But I still came back after and gained weight. And I was like, that's annoying. But how do I put this lightly? I don't think that I can like poop right without my squatty potty anymore. Like I have one.
Fromage did not enhance your ability to.
No, the fromage. No, I'm not going to blame the cheese that I ate, even though I can't historically eat cheese in America because it's different in Europe, right? It's definitely not the fromage's fault. It's definitely because I didn't have, a 5-inch boost under my feet.
And your new husband didn't lay his bodice down so you could have that elevation?
He offered to, but the bathrooms in Europe are so fucking small. There was no room. I mean,
that's so sweet that he offered.
No,
that's love.
I'm just like kind of worried about myself because like I can't, I want to become one of those people who only goes to the bathroom at home, but like I can't go without my squatty potty to a point where I almost Amazoned myself like a tiny step stool that I could quickly that I could fold and keep in my suitcase. But I just knew that I wouldn't be able to explain that. And also addresses are hard in France. So I couldn't figure out where I was.
Yeah. They're like one France Street. And then there's like, well, aren't there 18 one? It's very hard.
It's the street and then the number 2. So it's like, you're on like fromage 71 and you're like, is that a street? It's like, no, it's 71 fromage street. And I'm like, well, then
they're on the metric system too. So I'm like, what is 71 in American units? Like it's,
oh my God,
I can't convert them.
Man, the metric system beat our ass when we were in Porto because like we were so used to walking everywhere and we're like, oh, let's walk. We'll just walk to this place. It's only 3 meters away, whatever the fuck that means. And everything in Porto is like on a hill. Lisbon and Porto are like on hills. So it would be like, oh, a 2-minute walk directly uphill. Like we might as well have climbed the fucking Eiffel Tower. But like Google Maps is like, sorry, we thought you knew what 3 meters was. Oopsie.
Google's just condescending to Americans too.
Oopsie, sorry, you didn't know? Oh, okay. Oopsie. And you can't switch it. You can't switch it to we were in a like a Lyft or whatever, an Uber, whatever their Bolt. I don't know. We were in one of those, and the driver was telling us this wonderful tale. And as he was telling, he's like, yeah, and then we had to go 400 meters, and that was like the butt of the joke. And me and Taylor were like, ah, ha, 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 ha. We didn't get the joke.
Yeah,
like,
what does that mean?
Is that far? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trash because I can't poop without my squatty potty. That's all.
Well, at least you had your love there with you. And let's get into our stories this week about somebody else that had love with him, but maybe not on the right side of it.
Hey, it's time for Dodger baseball, you guys. Baseball season has started, and opening day at Dodger Stadium was a memorable one.
So from foxla.com, a Dodgers proposal went wrong. A fan was tackled by security mid-proposal. Have you seen this video?
No, I'm actually going to watch it right now because
Please watch it.
Hold on one second. I mean, okay.
I found like a supercut where it's just all these different angles. Well, the Dodgers won over the Arizona Diamondbacks at least.
Oh, shit.
Thank you for that live reaction.
Oh my God. They didn't have to do that.
No, they could have just said, sir, get up.
Okay, so look, the guy goes on the field to propose, which you're not supposed to do.
No.
But he's literally obviously proposing. He's down on one knee, and someone just like full speed at him just tackles this man already on his knees.
Like a tight end is that a tackler position in football? Like a tight end just fucking takes him down.
That is so funny. Oh my God.
Like the Dodgers players were on the field and they were just like, oh, come on, don't do that.
I mean, like he wasn't even disrupting the game. I mean, he was, but
a little, but for love. I'd do anything for love, right?
Look, in this economy, I get it. Like there's too much gun violence and things. Sure. They can't be fucking around with this. But at the same time, like they hit him so hard his hat fell off.
His hat, not his hat. So yeah, his name is Ricardo Juarez. He was wearing a Mookie Betts jersey. He jumped over the outfield wall, sprinted to the middle of the field, and popped the question. And don't worry, even though he got blindsided by a security officer, his girlfriend, now fiance, said yes.
Yay.
Love prevails.
Love prevails. And
love prevails.
You know what I would love to do?
What?
In honor of my birthday, which is April 3rd, I was thinking, I'm not the only trashy person with the birthday April 3rd. I don't know what's in the water, but I do feel like there is a particular set of celebrities that share the same birthday as me. And we're quite the ragtag gang of people. So what if we talked about some fellow April 30ans?
I'm ready. I'm rocked and ready. Yeah. All right. Up first, we're going to talk about Vegas's own Wayne Newton.
Boom.
So a little context. Wayne Newton, long-standing performer with one of the first residencies in Las Vegas, aside from Elvis himself. But after Elvis's passing, there was a vacancy in the market. And so Wayne Newton stepped into the ring. He was kind of a go ahead. He was kind of a chubby kid singer with some minor hits in the 60s. And so when he all of a sudden became like the hottest entertainer in Vegas in the 80s, it was quite a surprise.
What's more surprising is he is one of the first people who has a wax figure that looks more human than he does. Sorry about it. Slam dunk on your ass, Wayne Newton.
Famous in Vegas Vacation, with Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy Chase. She is seduced by Wayne Newton. It's quite charming. But that's how I became aware of him. I was like, oh, Wayne Newton. That's a guy that I know from other people referencing that it's weird that he's this person in Vegas. Like, I had no context of like who he was as a kid, you know?
I was looking at his song list. I feel like none of these are original songs to him. I don't like,
yeah.
I feel like his biggest songs are just what he sings that other people wrote, which I think is hilarious.
I love Donkashe.
Oh, is that him?
That's him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I just assumed that was a cover. Okay, so then he does have that. Donkashe.
But it's estimated that he made 10 million a year in the 80s with no major hit records, no TVs, no movies. Year after year, he was making 10 million a year, setting his little ass up in Vegas.
You know what? Aries.
That's Aries energy.
That's Aries energy.
Yeah.
Next up, we have
Doris Day.
Yes, next up we have Doris Day, who is, an icon.
A beauty, an icon, hilarious. Like, she was really great in romantic comedies. With Rock Hudson, they were, quite the pair in a lot of films. But she didn't know her correct age until 2017.
Oh, that feels fake.
You think so? So in 2017,
that feels like something an actress would say. If someone went up to an actress and said, "How old are you?" and she said, 27, and they're like, "This says that you're 45." What? News to me. Show me this. Where did you get this?
From the official records?
Oh. And that's weird. I don't pay attention to birthdays anyways.
So in 2017, she thought she was turning 93, but the Associated Press obtained a copy of her actual birth certificate from Ohio's Office of Vital Statistics, and it turns out she was born 2 years earlier, making her actually 95.
I mean, this is what we're literally talking about. Like, Doris Day is like the first. She probably did know at one point that she was born in 1922, but then she got to her 30s and she was like, I don't know, just put me down as 31 and let's move on.
It's a range. It's a range. Oh, that is so old actress. Just like, oh, I don't know. There's a great joke on 30 Rock where Jenna Maroney's character, played by the amazing blank
Jane Krakowski,
thank you. She's like, I'm this age. And then Jack Donaghy, the hilarious husband, Alec Baldwin, quizzes her about things she should know if she were actually that age. And then he asks her one question. She was like, what's a blank? As in, I'm too young to even know what that is. And she passed. It's a great. I'm butchering a joke. It's great.
It is a good joke. I mean, Alec Baldwin, who plays Jack Donaghy, also an April 3rd baby.
Yes. And oh boy, before he was hilarious husband and before the Elena Hutchinson tragedy, there was a voicemail that changed everything for him.
Left a voicemail for his then 11-year-old daughter that got leaked to TMZ. He was really drunk. He says, I don't give a damn. Once again, I've made an ass of myself trying to get to a phone. You have insulted me for the last time. I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old or a child, or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the ass who doesn't care about what you do. You've made me feel like shit and you need to straighten your ass out. I'll let you know how I really feel about what a thoughtless little pig you are. You are a rude little pig, okay? And then he says other stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
wasn't good. He's had a funny career, from being beloved to having a really bad personal life to being a murderer to, I don't know, just kind of like being. But hey, April 3rd, it's a weird day. We got Eddie Murphy too.
Yes, the hilarious comedian, amazing actor, and party all the time singer. one of my favorite bangers. If you listen to that song on like 1/4 speed though, it, that party all the time, it's like upbeat, but if you slow it down, it's like a bop.
Really?
Because it's like, my girl wants to party all the time, party all the time. Which is like the way like you slow down a record. It's great. Yeah.
Okay. I never would have known that.
It was one of my favorite YouTube videos back in the day. It was like a party fixture when people would be like, do you have an interesting YouTube video? This is one of the ones I would pop up. And
when you went to your YouTube parties?
Well, fucking parties would just be back in the early days, and it'd be like people hang out and somebody's like, I have a really funny video to show everyone. And then they put that on the TV, and then it was like Russian roulette if it came up to you. Like, do you have a good video? And then you're like, fuck. Somebody already played hamster treadmill. Fuck. Then you had to like have 3 to 4 in your Rolodex of if something cool came up and you could show someone a unique YouTube video.
I would always show the Separate Ways music video by Journey.
Okay.
It's a fucking crazy music video. They're like playing instruments on the sides of the walls, or depending on the kind of party, definitely like you could show the 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yes. Shake That Bear, another infamous one, different kind of party. But another great one was Mary-Kate and Ashley Give Me Pizza. But again, slowed down like 4 times.
Gosh, I never did the slowed down one. By the way, Eddie Murphy, 10 kids. 10. I feel like that needs to be said.
Doesn't drink, 10 kids. Yep. Yeah. But the reason we're talking about Eddie Murphy, aside from being an April 3rd birthday, is that in Italy, he is a Christmas fixture. So, you have like those movies you watch. Yeah. Well, a movie he starred in 1982 called Trading Spaces, a hilarious movie with Dan Aykroyd, it's kind of a twist on the Prince and the Pauper style stories. He's a broke hustler. Aykroyd's a wealthy bank investor. It's a John Landis film, but it is set at Christmas time. And so in Italy, that is like pop on, It's a Wonderful Life.
That's so funny. Places. Pop on Trading Places.
Yeah. It's screened every year since 1997.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. I love a Renaissance. I love them. Italy, what a fun, insane place. But we were talking about cell phones earlier. Another famous day on April 3rd, as it in 1973, the first handheld mobile telephone call was made.
Oh,
yeah. It was from Motorola. An employee at Motorola called AT&T Bell Laboratories. Like, kind of a fuck you.
That's funny.
I'm calling your landline from my cell phone. 2 rivals companies.
It looks like the William Wallace, a Scottish knight who then was later portrayed by Mel Gibson in Braveheart. William Wallace, also an April 3rd baby.
Yes.
And not Mel Gibson, though. Mel Gibson, not an April 3rd baby.
No, but here are some trashy facts about Mel Gibson, who, again, famously portrayed him in a film called Braveheart. Mel Gibson, actor, rose to fame, was actually dropped by his talent agency, William Morris, after he went on many racist rants and anti-Semitic and made threats against his ex-girlfriend. Hard fall from grace, if there was a grace, but went on to make A Passion of the Christ, which woof. But one of the roles he became most famous for early in his career was Mad Max in George Miller's, Mad Max movies. But the way he got the role was he had been in a bar fight the night before and got his ass beat some, drove a friend to the audition for this new movie. George Miller saw him and was like, hey, obviously you're too effing ugly to play the lead because you're all beat up from this bar fight, but come back in a week and we're having auditions for like the Freaks and the Marauders, like the Apocalypse Freaks. And so he came back in a week, but by that time he had healed and was, presumably so handsome that George Miller had to cast him. So
I love that. Another famous April 3rd baby that was portrayed in modern television. Her name was Ann Lister. She's sometimes described as the first modern lesbian. As a successful woman entrepreneur and a landowner, she kept an extensive diary, partly in code, running to 4 million words, and it reveals her many sexual affairs with other women throughout her life. So this was in 1971, and the television show
1791.
Oh shit! Sorry, so that's a big difference.
Yeah.
This was in 1791 in England, and the TV show in reference is the show now canceled HBO show Gentleman Jack, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know she was an April 3rd baby, and I watched the pilot of Gentleman Jack because I have friends who are like, "Oh, it's really good," and I'm like, "This is just a show about a woman who collects rent and about nothing else." She just is, all she does is collect rent. I don't get it. So I wasn't I wasn't that impressed, but I mean, maybe I'll revisit it now
that you know she was the first modern lesbian,
Yeah, I'll give some honorable mentions before we get to the trashiest person born on April 3rd. Spoiler alert, it's not me. But honorable mentions go to Jenny Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Sure. To Paris Jackson, whoever the fuck that is.
Michael Jackson's daughter?
Oh, her? Yeah. I don't know. I think she's famous to like young kids though, and I'm not going to act like I'm young,
Yeah, that's fair.
And to Amanda Bynes, who we wish the best for.
Yes.
But obviously the trashiest of all trashy April 3rd babies is, of course, the infamous Marlon Brando.
Brando! That's how I assume he would yell his own name.
He's brilliant and talented and absolutely a cuckoo banana of crazy person.
So, he had an amazing career. Again, unpredictable, unhinged at times, uncooperative.
Yeah.
We
big Aries energy. Big Aries energy.
We spoke about him on the Oscars episode where he, instead of accepting his Best Actor Academy Award, he sent in Sacheen Littlefeather. But we have a story talking about one of my favorite performances by him of all time in the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau. And if you have not seen it, run, don't stop this podcast and immediately go see The Island of Dr. Moreau.
It's a movie starring Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. And actually, immediately after you watch The Island of Dr. Moreau, get up, go pee, sit back down, and watch the documentary that was made about The Island of Dr. Moreau and the making of it, because it is it's crazy. And it's not just all Marlon Brando. Everybody was crazy. It's called Lost Soul, the doomed journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau.
So the plot of Dr. Moreau is that Val Kilmer, go. I can't even. I'm not even gonna tell you the plot. Like, you just fucking have to see it. But quick summary: essentially, there are animals. I can't even. You tell.
Just go watch it. The point is that the whole thing making the movie was a disaster.
Yes,
there was an actor, David Lewis, who arrived on set to be greeted by Brando, and Brando's greeting was, "Go home, David. This is not a good film to work on. It's cursed." And he was playing a mad, crazy scientist and dressed appropriately with a muumuu dress, white makeup and lipstick, and an ice bucket for a hat. He became obsessed with his co-star Nelson De La Rosa, who was the world's smallest man. He made the replacement director give this co-star more lines. And there was also times when, because Val Kilmer was very famous. I mean, he is very famous.
Yeah.
But he was very famous around this time. So there was kind of a bit of a pissing contest where neither of them wanted to be the first person to leave their trailer.
Yes. It would not come out until the other had left.
They refused.
Crazy delays.
Like hours. They wouldn't, because Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer, neither of them wanted to be the first one out. So
Brando also had to be fed his lines to an earpiece quite frequently, but those earpieces were also picking up police frequencies. And at one point he recited the line, "There's been a robbery at the Woolworths."
That's so funny. There's another story about Marlon Brando versus Frank Sinatra. This was in 1955. Brando was shooting Guys and Dolls with Frank Sinatra, but their two methods kind of clashed. Brando was very famously a method actor, and Frank Sinatra was more of a one-take wonder. And so they didn't rehearse together.
Into the point where Sinatra was calling Brando Mumbles. And Brando once said of Sinatra, Frank's the kind of guy when he dies, he's going to go to heaven and give God a bad time for making him bald.
There's a scene where Sinatra's character has to eat a cheesecake, and Brando kept intentionally messing up the last line to force Sinatra to eat more and more cheesecake. And after the 9th take, Sinatra exploded and says, "These fucking New York actors, how much cheesecake do you think I can eat?"
Well,
it's hilarious.
It's just hilarious. Brando was not above a little toilet humor. When working with Robert De Niro on the movie The Score, he continually hid a remote-controlled whoopee cushion on set. And he was introduced to the whoopee cushion by Johnny Depp, who claimed his idol yelled, "I found God," when Depp showed him a remote controlled whoopee cushion. Jesus Christ, just like a monster party.
Yeah.
His big business idea at one point, Brando's, was a phone company called Dial-A-Fart, where you could pay a premium rate to listen to fart sounds by calling in. Honestly, not a bad idea. Should we start that hotline now?
I mean, maybe.
Did you ever call the call and Oates hotline?
Oh yeah, it's a great thing. You call it and they go, thanks for calling Oates. What Hall & Oates song would you like to hear? Press 1 for Rich Girl. Press 2,
For Man Eater.
It was great.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando had a bizarre friendship with Michael Jackson after being hired by the pop star to give him acting lessons. The actor was in attendance at one of Jackson's concerts on September 11th, 2001, along with fellow guest of honor Elizabeth Taylor. When the Twin Towers were struck, Michael Jackson insists that the stars flee New York for California, as they could potentially be considered terrorist targets. Unbelievably, the only way they were able to do this was to take a car out of the city, which they drove themselves without any PRs or publicists, managing to get as far as Ohio. Allegedly, Taylor and Jackson were annoyed at Brando's constant requests to stop at every KFC and fast food joint they passed along the way. This crazy road trip is now being made into a movie starring Brian Cox as Brando, Stockard Channing as Taylor, Elizabeth Taylor, and Joseph Fiennes as Michael Jackson. That is such a fucking crazy story that these three of probably the most famous people in the world, Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, and Marlon Brando, were like, we got to get out of here.
They're going to come after us next. Like,
we're next.
Ring, ring hurts. I need a car to go to California.
Although you can't talk shit, because didn't you miss some sort of stock show? Because
I thought my farm convention was going to be targeted.
So, I mean,
all thought we were so fucking
Everyone
important.
thought they were next,
Post 9/12, September 12th on, we all thought we were going to be the next fucking target. Sorry, let me make sure my Zoom's picking up the right audio again. Fucking Christ. Yeti. Okay, cool. Sorry. All right. That is true. Yeah, the grandiose nature of everyone thinking it's fucking us next, man. It's us next.
It's so funny. Is this movie still being made? It already came out.
What?
Apparently.
Oh, well, we have to watch it.
It came out as a Urban Myths episode. The show was Urban Myths, and it came out in 2017.
No, I've seen images of
I remember
playing Michael Jackson. I didn't know what it was from.
I remember that too, and everyone was like, "Why would you choose him? He's white." Like, it was a whole thing.
I can't breathe. We have to watch this now.
Wow.
Wow. Well, moving on to our next Brando story. If I were in that car, I definitely would have mutinied at some point. Yeah. And while Brando was filming Mutiny on the Bounty, his bad behavior descended into unexplored territory. His ego operating on maximum levels, Brando frequently used the film's cast and crew for his own devices. At one point, he ordered the film's crew to down tools and pool their efforts into designing a friend's wedding in Tahiti.
I love it.
At some point, he also filled several planes with champagne, hams, and baked goods to fly to Tahiti for the parties. His overeating had also begun at that point, and he allegedly split his trousers 52 times during the course of filming, causing the film's costume department to accommodate his ever-expanding girth. Brando's showboating didn't hurt. It was nominated for 7 Oscars, and he did get recognized the ill will that he generated, and later wrote a letter to his co-star Trevor Howard to apologize for his behavior. Wow. He fell so much in love with the Tahitian island that he later went back and bought it.
That's just crazy,
I want island money. I never want to be, a billionaire. I think they're evil, but if I could just buy some islands, that'd be nice. Like, that's all I want to be.
A quick little island,
a hand, like a string of islands. So if I get tired of one island, I can vacation on my second island to get a break from my first island, and then have my third island for guest.
Yeah.
You can come over anytime to the third island. That's all I want is land in the ocean. Yeah.
His overeating got so out of control that there's a story about how his wife would chain up their fridge, and he would have friends throw bags of burgers over his house's fence when he was supposed to be dieting. And during filming of the Missouri Breaks in 1976, he had long given up his leading man physique, but he is said to have reached into a pond, grabbed a frog, took a bite out of it, and then threw it back in the water.
I mean, I've been hungry. I don't know if I've been that hungry, though.
I've never been so hungry that I've been able to catch a frog, first try.
I've been catching frogs. I caught frogs as a kid, for sure. I've caught some my share of frogs. You know what I mean? They're called my ex-boyfriends. You know what I mean?
Hello.
I'm sorry, everyone. It's been a minute.
Got him.
Got him. Oh, all right. But we've all been hungry, and it makes me famished.
Bone broth.
A day of skiing. Yeah, I need some bone broth after a day of skiing. Are you ready, Cass?
I'm ready. What a birthday gift this is.
What a gift for you. You're welcome. I helped coordinate this gift for you.
Thank you.
It's time for our dumpster fire of the week. First, we're going to take a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back.
Oh my God. Honestly, what kind of journalists would we be if we really just spent this whole episode talking about April 3rd babies when one of the biggest trials of our lifetime occurred last week?
Absolutely. These pieces come to us from theguardian.com and vulture.com. Joan of Arc,
Lorena Bobbitt,
the Salem witch trials women,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
What do all of these women have in common? They are women who were persecuted and put on a trial for the crime of being glamorous, empowered icons whose vibe was just living life.
So this past week, it was a 8-day trial. Many of us have watched closely as Gwyneth Paltrow stood trial for a ski collision incident that happened 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So this man, Terry Sanderson, who is a retired optometrist, sued the actor for liability in a collision that happened in a Utah mountain in 2016. And the trial was televised. So Paltrow countersued for $1, saying that this is bullshit and this is, not going to stand. And the trial was iconic. There were so many moments of aloofness, out of touchness. The one thing I will give Gwyneth is that she didn't come in with some high-powered, fancy New York, LA lawyer. She came in she got a local representation, which I thought was really smart.
Yeah, I mean, Gwyneth was under some heat because there was a podcast that came out where she was, they were asking about her wellness routine, and she went over like what she eats in a day. And it was very essentially just like crunchy anorexia. I mean, just full blown. And everyone was like, fuck you, Gwyneth Paltrow. And then this trial happened like a day or two later. The timing of it was crazy, and it's just been so interesting, at least from my side of the internet, my algorithm, to watch people absolutely just destroy and hate this woman, to now everyone suddenly like this trial and how ridiculous and foolish it has been has suddenly made her a gay icon.
I think that the podcast came out to take the heat away from the trial. We did not know how well the trial coverage would go for Paltrow. So I think this was a preventative PR move of being like, everyone be mad and distracted about this podcast I did about my, very disordered anorexic eating, and don't pay attention to this trial, not knowing how well the trial was going to go for her.
I mean, this Terry Sanderson had just the goofiest lawyer, this lawyer was asking the craziest shit to try to like, I don't know, she was trying to like make Gwyneth feel not credible. But there was one point where she was in a line of questioning where she says, "Are you friends with Taylor Swift?" And her lawyer's like, "Objection, relevance." And Gwyneth's like, "No." And they're like, "So you're not friends with Taylor Swift?" And Gwyneth's like, "I've met her a couple times." And she's like, "So you've never given Taylor Swift a very personal gift?" She's basically trying to get Gwyneth Paltrow to admit that on like some Goop video that she gave Taylor Swift a vibrator for Christmas, as if that has anything to do with anything.
Well, I think she was trying to get that, but so Gwen was countersuing for $1, which is the move that Taylor Swift did.
Oh, is that it?
That's the correlation. Yeah, she was trying to be like, "Did you get this idea from Taylor Swift?"
I'm not saying like who gives
live
a
in her
shit?
jollies. Yeah, my favorite was when she asked Gwen how tall she was, and Gwen's like, "I'm 5'10", but I think I'm shrinking." And the lawyer goes, "I'm jealous. I'm barely 5'5" and 4-inch heels."
It was the stupidest
thing. Very
thing.
Nice shoes. It's insane. Like there's so many great moments from it, but we wanted to pull out a highlight of some of the goopiest, craziest moments from the trial itself and what was happening. So yeah. All right. So essentially there were so many moments that the Terry Sanderson's counselor, Kristen Vorman, said, "What was your name again?" Kristen, said Gwyneth Paltrow to her because she couldn't remember her name.
Hilarious. And why should she,
At one point, Gwyneth asked the judge if her and her security team could bring in treats for the bailiffs because of what of a good job they were doing.
I love it.
I do think her dressing was incredible, as this article from Vulture points out. She, at one point, was looking very goopy goth, into, kind of referencing the Crucible's Goody Proctor in a witchy frock and Prada boots.
Yeah, she wore a lot of neutral tones.
Yeah.
And just about everything that she was wearing was available on the Goop website.
Oh, absolutely. You'd think I didn't not walk to the Google for some of those outfits.
Sure.
At one point, Sanderson was saying that he was not able to enjoy wine tasting anymore. So that was one of the things. But she was asked what the lawyer asked her, what did you lose in this moment? Like, so Gwen was saying he hit her, he was saying she hit him. And Gwyneth just replied, well, I lost a half day of skiing. Again, the Taylor, are you friends with Taylor Swift moments? Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. She was asked what her vision is, and she has 20/20 vision. And Terry Sanderson, a retired optometrist, is now partially blind and has cataracts. And so that was brought out in the trial.
And also they're saying that there's a lot of photos of her wearing glasses. And it's like, so?
Style, babes.
She was using these things as like proof that Gwyneth Paltrow was lying on the stand, which is like,
yeah,
so stupid.
One of my favorite things was there was a meetup group from 2016 that had an arrangement to meet on the slopes that day. And both sets of lawyers were like, we can't crack into this. And they're like, you mean the simple website that you just need a password to log into? Like, they were like, we can't get the records out. And people are like, you just log in. Like, you just make an account and log in, or just retrieve the password. I was like, that got beyond both sets of lawyers' trial. But guys, great news. Gwyneth prevailed. She won her countersuit of $1.
Yeah, they completely put this guy at fault. Everyone was Gwyneth's lawyers had a good moment of, or I don't know actually whose lawyer it was, but basically Terry Sanderson was trying to say that he didn't care about celebrity or didn't care about any of that stuff. But then they have a text message record from the day of the crash where he texted his children saying, I'm famous, basically trying to brag that he ran into Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying, oh, well, I didn't have my mind or my wits to me.
Yeah. Fun fact, a part of his testimony, Terry Sanderson is fucking QAnon. Under oath, he was testifying, and he said, he's trying to explain how she should be held accountable. But during that, he brought up the molesting of young children on an island, which is a very Q claim. And the lawyers were like, stop, this isn't relevant. And I wanted to say, no, let him keep going. I want to hear more of this guy's rant. Full-blown Q.
Wow.
He said, now we have the molesting of young children on an isle, adding denial, talking about celebrity worship, etc. And then the sweetest moments. So they ruled, not responsible. She won her $1 countersuit, and then she was dismissed while her lawyers were going to finish court and have a statement. And she walked by Terry Sanderson and she said, I wish you well.
Just absolutely a slam dunk, brutal, like the nail in his coffin. When they go low, we go high. I wish you well.
I wish you well. I'm going to say that like to everyone I hate now.
Yeah.
It's my new battle cry. Yeah.
What is it? That's from Salt Lake City, like jealousy is a disease. And to that I say, get well soon.
Get Gwyneth on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty iconic trial. And look, I can't lie. Like, I don't like that she was essentially promoting anorexia on that podcast, but
nope.
I don't mind Gwyneth. I've already said it on this podcast. I've hoarded the Goop things that I get for free And my alliance is that with the goops. And I'm sorry. Okay. But it's not like I'm coming on here pretending like I'm the greatest person. So I like what I like. And for some reason, why can't I quit you, Gwyneth Paltrow?
Well, speaking of things you can't quit, what are you hoarding this week?
Okay. I'm hoarding Lisbon. Go to Lisbon. No, I'm hoarding a macchiato. Have you had one?
Are those the steamed milk latte? No, I don't know. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm talking about.
A macchiato. Hold on, I have to make sure I'm right. A macchiato is an espresso with just a dash of milk, like a little puff of foam on top. So historically, I don't drink caffeine. I stopped drinking caffeine when I was a teenager. I get anxiety attacks. It is what it is. But lately, and it started in Vegas, when we went to Vegas earlier this year, and I was like, I want to party Vegas style, and I'm afraid that I'm too tired. And so Taylor, who does drink coffee, would get like a double espresso, and I would have like a couple sips of it, like as if I was like doing something naughty. I had like 2 sips of coffee, probably didn't do shit to me. So when we were in, but I was like, this stuff's pretty good, whatever. And so when we were in France, I ended up ordering here and there a little decaf macchiato, and yum. I mean, everyone who drinks coffee is probably like, no shit, idiot, coffee's good with milk. But absolutely delish. Loved the macchiatos.
I love that so much.
What are you hoarding?
I'm hoarding a couple things. I believe I might have talked about it on a previous episode that shall now be called a lost episode. You might have noticed we did not put out an episode last week. One was recorded. The audio is just somewhere in the ether. Hopefully I find it somehow someday. But I recorded a podcast with my partner, Winston Carter, in Cassandra's honeymoon absence. And that episode, who knows where it is? There have been some issues. But I think I hoarded on that show, that episode, again, lost to the annals of time, the TV series Swarm on Amazon Prime. And I'm going to hoard it here again. It is from Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, and Janine Neighbors. And it shows a fanatic fan for a Beyonce-esque character called Nyjah in this world. And it's really just kind of like the dark side of standom and fans. And it's a satirical horror, psychological thriller.
Cool.
It's really good, y'all. It's really good. Dominique Fishback is a fucking star. Like, so incredible great. I really, 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 really liked it. So I would 100% recommend checking out Paris Jackson, as we discussed earlier on the episode, plays a stripper in it, but it all ties together. Anyway, I would recommend Swarm on Amazon Prime. Yep.
Wrote it down.
Great. What are you throwing away?
I guess I better stay on my toilet talk.
Yes, always.
Hey, European toilets, what's up? You're getting thrown out. Specifically, the European because I don't know why European toilets are shaped different than American toilets. Why? Or rather, fine, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Why do American toilets? Why are they different shapes?
Yeah.
But European toilets, they have like very rounded moment, and a lot of them, there's a toilet and then a toilet seat and then a lid, and the lid and the seat fit completely flush together. No pun intended. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, because in Europe, they don't really they don't trouble themselves too much with gendered bathrooms out there like Americans do for some reason. And so men will leave the seat up and you'll walk into a restroom and you go, okay, well, I'm going to need that seat to come down so that I may use this toilet. But because the seat fits with the lid like flush, it's hard to get the seat out without having to kind of like finger it out of there. And so it's just a huge bummer because you have to kind of you have to use your hands, which you don't want interacting with the toilet.
No.
You have to use your hands to get that toilet seat out and down. And then you realize that all of Europe also doesn't use paper towels. So it's like when you wash your hands, you have to use one of those blowers. And so it's just like overall, like this feeling of not being clean. There's also some toilets that I ran into in like Paris and one in Lisbon that like just omit a toilet seat altogether. Yes. Because I guess a European toilet, like you're not going to fall in like you might in an American toilet. So they're just like, just sit, just go bare ball, like just sit on it. Because also Europe, no seat covers.
No.
So public bathrooms in Europe, no squatty potties, too small. And just like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel clean. You're sitting just right on the bowl. Yeah. You know, like a fucking animal. So I'm throwing out European toilets. You show me a good one. And also they have, most of them have the 2-button option where it's like the tiny button for peas, I think, and then the big button, you know, for bigger things that must go down. But like a lot of the times the tiny button for pee didn't work. So you'd always have to press the big button. And then it was like, well, why not just have one big button? If this tiny one doesn't, I don't know.
Oh God.
I have notes. That's all I'm saying. So I'm throwing out European toilets.
Yeah. Europe, your food is not poison, but your toilets are garbage.
Come on. I'm having a hard enough time out there. You know, at least make it comfortable for me. It's crazy. You go out of town for that long and then you just start to miss the simple things like a good US toilet.
A big old dumper.
Yeah, a toilet that's got the support for your McDonald's consuming overweight body, you know? And that's got the different layers so that you don't have to use your hands to touch it. I don't know, whatever. I didn't like it. Where can the people find you?
I gotta throw some shit away.
Oh, babe. What are you throwing away? Sorry.
I'm throwing away Ralph Fiennes, who is Captain Fred from The Handmaid's Tale playing Michael Jackson. No, but for real, I am throwing away fucking billionaires acting as if being called a billionaire, which you did not earn. You exploited other people's labor, saying that being called a billionaire is like a slur or derogatory.
What?
Oh yeah. Now the billionaires' little feelings are hurt because they're being called billionaires. And billionaire is it's a slur. It's derogatory. I don't like this label. You obviously liked exploiting labor. Like, go fuck yourselves, billionaires. Anyway, I'm throwing that out.
Who said that? Was that
the Starbucks CEO?
Oh my God.
A lot of billionaires are starting to be like, I was poor and I worked. No, you exploited other people's labor. No one earns $1 million. There's no hourly rate of labor you can do in exchange for $1 billion. And just admit that. Also, that's fine.
What the hell are you worried about? What are you getting your feelings hurt? Go cry
buy your feelings
in a jet. Like, what the hell are you worried about?
Buy an island to cry on, you bitches. No, I'm not even calling them bitches. No, I'm taking that back. Go buy an island to cry on. Billionaire babies. Just get some fucking diapers. Anyway, all right. Sorry. Back to simping with the upper class.
Shit.
Where can the people find you, Cassandra, now that you're back in America?
at Cass Cardenas on Instagram and on the Trashy podcast. I'm back, baby.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad you're back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Where do they find you?
At Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram, TikTok. Those are the big ones, y'all. I actually have a fan page on Facebook. Give me a like there. I don't know what it does, but you got a like to throw around. It doesn't cost you any money. Just
That's
a little thumbs up. Yeah, just go ahead and throw me a like on the Facebook as my page. But you can always find this podcast, which does not have a Facebook. But you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Trashy Pod. You can also find our website always, trashypodcast.com. You can email us, trashypodcast@gmail.com. Send us in stories. Tell us why you're trash. You can also support this show by leaving a review on Spotify or iTunes, telling a friend, giving us a 5-star review, and show people that you love this podcast by wearing a shirt. And you can find those shirts at trashypodcast.threadless.com. Also, there's a merch tab on our website, which is trashypodcast.com. You can sign up and throw us a like around there. And maybe Cass and I'll do some bonus episodes. Maybe we'll cover that island or the Ralph Fiennes playing Michael Jackson story.
It's Joseph Fiennes.
Joseph Fiennes. I can't. Good call.
There's so many of them.
There's so many Fiennes. They're so fine. But we support you. Thank you for your patience while Cassandra was off gallivanting in her honeymoon and sticking with us. We love you.
Thank you for your patience. We recorded a bunch of fucking backlog episodes. You thank them for your patience that you and Winston couldn't put out a thing. Don't bring my honeymoon into this.
All right, that's the bus I just threw Cassandra under.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
She busted her ass like before her wedding to crank out these episodes. Blame it on me. Thank you for your patience with me.
Also, thank you for your patience. We did this for free. Thank us. Please leave us a nice review.
We won't yell at you. We're sorry. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Hey, garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday to me. I don't know how old I am.